Yes, everyone, hello, good evening. Your Monday night entertainment is here. Well, let's hope it's entertainment. Let's hope I'm bringing you some good news on what you want to hear regarding Manchester United and the transfer window. Obviously, the build-up is still there with everything leading into this weekend. We've got some interesting stories from Carrington, as well as what's happening with certain players at the club, namely Rasmus Højlund being one of them. We spoke earlier on. We did a separate video on this. You can catch up with that one later. But tonight's topic is all on Carlos Baleba. Again, it is going to be the hot topic throughout the rest of this window. We're going to have to just accept that that's the way it's going to be. I don't think it's a problem for most Man United fans to be talking. Let's just say to be talking about Carlos Baleba. Let's just look at it this way, and let's look at everything that's realistic with Manchester United right now. We've got a very, very interesting situation developing with Carlos Baleba and what's expected. This afternoon alone, we have had several updates regarding Carlos Baleba and where we're actually at with him, and now we are in a situation where even some reports saying that the bid is going in very soon. Talks will open with Brighton, and we're now looking at the potential this week of Manchester United making this concrete, as in speaking to Brighton, the bid going in. Several reports about how much that bid is going to be. 100 million has been said and has been mooted throughout the media throughout the day and this afternoon from Africa and the reports over there mainly. We talked about that this morning as well, but Rudy Galletti was the latest to come out. Well, he was really the first to come out with it. This is what he said. We'll get into this straight away now. We have updates on everything else as well tonight, including Donnarumma and what Romano was just dropped, which is interesting. But on what Rudy Galletti said about Carlos Baleba and where we're at with this one, just in, Manchester United and Brighton will hold new talks in the coming hours, with United expected to submit their bid for Baleba. The player wants to move, and Brighton are waiting for how negotiations will develop. They are already working cautiously on a potential replacement for him already. That for me is key in this as well. I look at this and say, okay, if there is something actually bubbling up here regarding Carlos Baleba and a potential bid, if Brighton are looking elsewhere or cautiously looking for a replacement, then that is interesting. That is that they probably would already be in negotiations or know that Manchester United are going to offer something. That's how I see it anyway. Like, why would you be looking elsewhere? You must have a good idea that United can fund this. And on to the funding. This is the really interesting bit on this one. Listen to this one from what Laurie Whitwell said earlier on today. And this was on his podcast on Talk of the Devils. But this is what we've been talking about. How Manchester United are affording all of these players, and how can we afford to buy Carlos Baleba? Yes, we have to be careful still. Yes, we do have to be very cautious with our money. United have extended their revolving credit facility. Something around 300 million is what they already had available to them. They dip into this every summer market, and basically slap it on the credit card and pay a big bat when they had a bit of cash flow coming in. That's basically how they treated it. They've now got a wider berth on that. I don't know the exact figures. They have got more cash at their disposal via that method. So it does look like Manchester United have, well, to break it down in simple terms, a new credit card. And they're spending money on that. This is big for Manchester United, because I think, again, this is a risk. Clearly, you're bumping up credit. And yet, you may think that you're going to bring some revenues in later down the line and you can pay it back then. Maybe Manchester United are using this to say to the other players, basically say, look, okay, these are the players that are supposedly leaving. We're still going to buy our players in, but you can wait it out. We've got money here to spend. We're willing to put faith in this coach. We're willing to put faith in these players above you. So we're going to bring these players in, and we don't desperately need to sell you. And like we've said before, Manchester United can pay this back in time. Are they getting it right this summer transfer window and going all out this window and making this happen? And then, obviously, trying to repay it back in time. Obviously, you could get that money back in winning trophies, in getting into better competitions, i.e. the Champions League, Club World Cup, whatever it may be. Obviously, being further up the Premier League brings back money anyway. Like we said this morning, if United move up to 5th in the league, Manchester United will look to make an extra 30 million in the Premier League through standings alone from what they did last season, We got 45 million for the Europa League. So if it was in the Europa League, if United actually get into the top 4, we're probably going to earn more money from the Premier League than we would not being in Europe. So than being in Europe in the Europa League. So again, yeah, Champions League is the one that you need to be in. Manchester United, I think, are building a team here and risking this by putting money on the credit card to actually get back to the Champions League. They're going all out to get Champions League football, I think. This is what they're building here. And the money is there to buy Baleba. If United have extended this credit facility, then it is there. Maybe they're looking at that. We'll get the players in now. We'll sell everyone on the last day of the window and then just put money back into that and pay it off. That might be how they're looking at it. They may be thinking next summer we don't have to buy as much and we'll just take some money off Rashford. Maybe that loan fee and that obligation or option to buy from Rasmus, put that back onto the credit card. Casemiro's wages are gone. We can buy someone else in with him on an instalment package basis. And let's not forget, Manchester United don't have to put all of the transfer fee down in one go. They can just do it in installments. So they could maybe just add 30 million off that credit facility and pay for Baleba and his first year just to incentivise Brighton so they can actually go for this. Maybe put a bit more of a bigger payment down in the first year. I don't know how they're going to negotiate it, but United feel comfortable. It was a question that was asked, like, why do United feel so comfortable having spent so much already and not sold anyone in going in for a Baleba when we know he's going to be near 100 million? I think this answers quite a lot of that, actually. I was wondering, and there was a few people that have been talking about this. Swedish Rumble has been talking about this as well on X, about how Manchester United's finances are being worked. But there was one thing that was said a while ago which rings true, I feel, in this situation, is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is an admirer of the Chelsea model. I spend and then try and bring that back, because Manchester United have to spend and they're spending on right players, so there's always sell on in these players. Get these players in at affordable prices that the club can easily cover in the revenues. Get these players in and try and get Manchester United back, because if we don't get into Europe and the Champions League, it doesn't matter what you do, we will fail. United and their amount of revenues and their wage bill and everything that this club is and what it's run from has to be in the Champions League. So you've got to go for it. You've got to go all out, especially with United falling so far behind everybody else. And I just look at that and go, that's got to be a big part of this. There is a big risk being taken here by Manchester United. And when you look at the amount of money that's been spent, you kind of think, like, it does sort of make sense now, doesn't it? That we have got a little bit of extra credit from outside. It's not really our money that we're spending. It's on a credit facility. So this does actually make you believe that Manchester United, in fact, could get Baleba. It is all about, I feel, making sure that the players that we need, the quality of players we need, are in at Manchester United, and then trying to pay everything off after that. This transfer window and the whole plan behind it, no one at Manchester United was alluding to this credit facility. All I heard every single time this was brought up, they don't want to spend on it. Maybe they've come up against something this window that they feel they have to make something happen. They feel like they're going to get the funding for this day. They must feel like there is finances coming in later down the line. There's things that we're never going to know about until it's announced officially at Manchester United. And no matter what people say and what people know, or in the know people around United, the journalists, they're not going to know everything. There has to be something else behind the scenes that gives United confidence to do this, because it just doesn't suit or fit with what Ineos's models are elsewhere. They don't take that many risks. This is completely alien to what they normally do. And I'm thinking on this, maybe the likes of Omar Barada, the financial expert, the man who deals with all of the wages, the contracts and things like this at Manchester City, and what he did there in planning this out, actually having football people in and bringing that knowledge to Manchester United and how they can make money from just the football side of things to cover. Like, you look at what Chelsea have done, look at what Manchester City, look at Arsenal, how much these clubs are spending. They're outspending Manchester United and outperforming Manchester United. It's no coincidence that they've spent more and bought better players because they've got a proper football structure in place. Manchester United has spent a lot of money without a football structure in place, and this is where we have fallen down. Way down, and we're about 5 years behind right now from challenging where we should be for the amount of money that we've spent. Carlos Baleba right now, I think, is a realistic target for Manchester United. Just to go in, I know I've gone a little bit there about the finances and things like that, but I just needed explaining a little bit. And when Laurie Whitwell was talking about Carlos Baleba, now you come to Carlos Baleba, and as you say, Brighton are going to ask for a lot of money for him. I don't know the exact figure. I don't think that's been communicated yet. Clearly, United feel as if they have a chance. They have a chance on this. Otherwise, they wouldn't be entering these kind of talks. Like what we said, you've got Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic here coming out and saying that Manchester United internally must feel like they can get Carlos Baleba. Otherwise, what's the point? I think they've been going on for a little bit of time with intermediaries, and now, as Ornstein reported, with Brighton as well. United feel that this is the summer to try and steal a march on other clubs that might go for him next year. Pretty much exactly what I said over the last 2 days. It's the last chance that United have got to get hold of someone like this. They know that they're in a position where they have to take advantage in terms of the players that they need. Can they make it work financially is the question. I think payment terms will be a big thing. Instalments, being able to pay the cash across. Again, we're going back to the credit facility, then to come to PSR, financial fair play, and United are on record saying they will be compliant with both the Premier League and UEFA. Again, more internal talk from Manchester United in confidence to these journalists and people asking questions that they can afford to do what we're doing now in the transfer window and still comply with both PSR and financial fair play. Financial fair play doesn't count for United this season because we're not in Europe, but they still want to abide by it. There is a plan here to be in place for next season going into Europe in some form, definitely for Manchester United. Now, again, it all depends on your opinion on where Manchester United are actually at. This is quite significant when it comes to everything that's going on with Manchester United financially, with what we can pay, with what we can actually get from certain players, and it is going to play a big part in Manchester United's future, because spending this money that's not ours and then taking a chance on repaying that back off the back of these bomb squad players, I'm guessing is the plan. It has to be. There's nothing else coming in money-wise all of a sudden for Manchester United from anywhere, because we're not in Europe. We're not going to get any extra money from any domestic cup. There's not enough money in it. Yes, you could probably say that we're going to be another, if we aim to get into the top four, we're going to be 30 to 40 million pound better off just from Premier League prize money. And again, it's going to come down to what we sell. It's a massive risk, but is it worth the risk for Ruben Amorim? Do United need to get back up there to compete? I've said this all day today. The most important thing is Man United competing at the top again, and you're going to have to sacrifice something. And I think I can see this in what we're doing with Rasmus, in what we're doing with most of these players right now in the transfer market. They're holding their ground and they're trying to get what they can. There is updates coming up in a minute from Rano on Garnacho. I'm going to bring them up as well. And Donnarumma, like I said. I do want to jump into the chat with everybody as well, just to get your thoughts on this first of all. But Laurie Whitwell has just said again regarding Rasmus, which we was talking about earlier on. Again, another player United looking to shift. On Højlund, I'm told if it's a sale, they'd accept less than his book value, which is around 45 million, as you have to include different selling on fees and things like that within the purchase price. As United would try and get back the sell-on, would try and get back the value of Rasmus Højlund in a sell-on fee, like we have done with other players this summer, if they sold him. Not the loan situation. The loan is what is being reported as the more favourable option for AC Milan at the moment, and that's where we're at with that one as it is. There's a lot to digest there and a lot to get through. So let's get into the comment section on this. By the way, everybody, you can see QR code on your screen for all of your replica, retro and up-to-date kits of Manchester United, training kits, absolutely everything there for every single club. OK, jerseys, that's your QR code. The link is in the description and will be in the live chat as well. Some of the mods would have been dropping it in for you there as well. Don't forget, later on, everybody, after this show, we are doing our call-in. So if you want to have your say, if you want to have your opinion read out or talk to me live on air, we're on Big Up later on. We'll drop that link into the description in a moment. We'll talk more about that towards the back end of the show as well. But yes, that is happening again this afternoon. 5 gifted memberships from Malcolm. Absolute legend. Thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate that. If you have just received one of them, make sure you put a big fat thank you in the live chat for our man Malcolm there. M20 Dan says, shirt sales and a top 5 finish will be fine. Yeah, the shirt sales will go mental. Garnacho is sweating. I still say, let him rot, says James. If we're risking these finances, it kind of tells you exactly where United are going when it comes to these players right now. We're going to sell them. We're going to sell them. Simple as. And that is what is going to happen. These players have to go, and Manchester United just can't afford not to sell them going off this. I've asked the question, are they comfortable enough to let these players rot? With taking money from a revolving credit facility and borrowing more on top of that, yeah, we need to sell them. And these players will all be sold by the end of this window. And I think the updates coming up will prove where Manchester United are actually at with that as well. Cheers for all the likes as well already, everybody. Keep liking the video if you're loving the content. Hit that subscribe button also. Cheers, everyone. Less than 100 away from 96k. Get in there. Come on. Right. More comments. Pile in, please, everybody. Let's get in with this. Alpha says, the thing is, when he goes to AFCON, are we able to survive without him? What happens if, when he gets injured, we need a plan B? We can if, buts and maybes about worst case scenarios all we want. But you're never going to know until you start the season. You have to plan for what's right in front of you. You try and judge what is going to happen later in the season, you'll end up screwing yourself over, I feel. But no, if we do lose him for AFCON, we could be losing a few players for AFCON, to be honest, like we've said before. Mbumo, Ahmad, Anana, Mazraoui, Baleba. Could be losing all of them. You never know. Reckon Bruno has agreed to leave at the end of the season. Says, so what? We talked about that before. Is there an agreement in place that Bruno Fernandes is leaving? Because if Bruno Fernandes leaves, Manchester United could literally pay off Carlos Baleba in one fell swoop. Because that's the numbers. Even if you sold Bruno for 60 million a year on, because he's not as worth as much as he was this summer, you're losing nearly 24 million a year in wages, plus his transfer fee. Casemiro going also. United have a lot of money coming back in. I think this summer they're banking on going over in this credit facility and being paid back by getting back into Europe, I feel. I think that's the thinking behind it. I think the calculation is banked on what Manchester United accomplished this season. Some will say that is absolute suicide because you never know what this Man United side is going to turn out like. But still, let's get some more comments in. Adam, I'd sell my Nan for Donnarumma and Baleba. Soz Nan. Nick, that's a bit harsh, mate. John D says, don't believe top 4 is possible this coming season. 6th or 7th is most realistic. That's not saying we shouldn't target it. You target it, John. Go for it. I was on Sky Sports earlier on, not arguing, but debating with Charlie Austin. He reckons United are just going to get top half of the table. That's not acceptable. That's not sustainable for United. At least European football of the Europa League nature is what United need to be going for. And United can do this. I'm telling you right now, no European football is the biggest thing that will help Manchester United, even more than the signings that are coming in. They're going to make a big impact, of course, but still, signings coming in, no European football is massive for United this season. It is. Okay, let's get into... Oh, by the way, Andy Mitten on Baleba. It's a difficult deal to get done. We all know this because we know that Brighton are going to stand their ground. But there is a clear desire from Baleba to go to Manchester United. Everybody knows this now. So then personal terms that we've all been talking about, the rumours that everybody's been talking about, he's agreed to join Manchester United. The personal terms are done. United are going in this week with a bid. That's all anybody is saying right now about Carlos Baleba. And this credit facility is how Manchester United make it happen. Right, let's get into other news. And an interesting one from Fabrizio Romano on Donnarumma. We are going to bring up the situation with Garnacho as well in a minute, because Romano has been talking about that. Gigio Donnarumma will leave Paris Saint-Germain for sure. Most likely this or eventually next summer. The relationship is completely broken after the club decide to exclude Gigi from their squad for the Super Cup. Understand Premier League is the most likely destination. Let me just read on this one. I forgot to open it up, sorry. That was it, yeah, sorry. That the Premier League is the most likely destination. Both Manchester United and Chelsea have been in talks with Donnarumma and his representatives over the last few days. That has been again said tonight, and they're the reports going around. So solidifying them talks that we were speaking about last Saturday, in the weekend just gone, that Manchester United have now got Donnarumma at the top of their wish list. And now if we've got this credit facility, I don't know what's possible for Manchester United. How far do they go? Do they risk it all in this summer's window and go all out and trying to get everybody in, just trying to build a team that's going to compete again and get back into the top four? It's a big risk, because a lot of people would have said, let's just make the first step, buy enough to get back in the Europa League, settle, learn the system, move on from that again and get the Champions League the season after. I mean, if we got top 5 this season, Manchester United, I think a lot of people would say we've done well from where we was last season. But if you can get top 5, you can make top 4. And United, if they aim high, will definitely guarantee us European football this season. Donnarumma coming in will definitely give Manchester United that leg up and put us in a miles better position to go and challenge for the Premier League. But Romano there saying that he will definitely leave. It could be next summer, but at the moment with him being left out of the squad, I don't see PSG waiting around to let him go for free. They've obviously been burnt before by killing Mbappe on this, and they need to sell him. So a minimal fee, I think, will get the job done this summer for Donnarumma. And of course, Donnarumma himself knows that he's not going to be playing. He's been left out of the squad. So Romano is covering all bases there, but Donnarumma is leaving PSG this summer. I think we can safely say that's a guarantee. And if the reports are right, like we've said before, he's open to going to United. I think there's an opportunity there. Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic did say that he doesn't see that one as much as Baleba at the moment. I mean, I'm all right with that. Like, yeah, maybe that's a bit cooler than the Baleba situation, but honestly, if you had to choose between both of these players right now, I think you have to put all of your concentration into Carlos Baleba in midfield. I think he is going to be gold for Manchester United this season if we sign him. And honestly, I've said it before, a lot of people have started to get a bit scared again. The other day when we was talking about this and was saying that where would Manchester United finish if we sign Baleba, and a lot of you said we're going to finish top 4. And now I've seen a few people backtracking. Come on! You've got to back yourself. You've got to feel confident still. You've got to give yourself that chance. Right, let's get a few more in this. Full of logic, mate, says Nuke. I was talking to someone in there. But Coco the Clown won't go, it says Babs. I don't think he's got 2 more years left on his contract. We did say earlier on today that Manchester United might be willing to send Onana out on loan and bring in Donnarumma. Whether that carries pace or whether that actually happens or not, we'll have to wait and see. But there is still a chance that United could make things happen at the latter stage of this window with Andre Onana, Donnarumma. The goalkeeping situation is going to come to a head after Carlos Baleba. This is now at that stage where it is do or die for Manchester United in getting this transfer done. They have to go in with something that Brighton are going to negotiate with. The rumours today have been all about the 100 million mark, in and around there. A record. Manchester United would be making a record bid. An absolute record bid for Baleba if he came in. That is a definite. Jonathan says, Adam, please address the issue that United players take a 25% pay cut when not in the Champions League. How does a keeper wanting north of 300k get in the United team? The report this morning was that he wants 250 grand plus, which will extend to 300 grand if they make the Champions League. If United are in the Champions League, there'll be a lot of players on a lot more money. This has been calculated. The amount of money that we would get from the Champions League completely eclipses what Manchester United's wage bill is. It's mammoth in terms of the money that United get if we're in the Champions League. Let's not forget, the gate receipts on top of the prize money is just enormous for Manchester United. Other teams will have the Champions League money, but other teams haven't got the revenues that Manchester United bring in every single match day. And we haven't played in the Champions League yet in the new format. So more games, more revenues. Guaranteed pretty much. Manchester United are guaranteed to have 5 home games in the Champions League. And that's just getting through to the round of 16. You could actually, it's not even the round of 16, it's the playoffs. So there is an extra round, isn't there now? Good God. That is crazy. Yeah, so when United played in the Champions League, we literally had, 3 home games? That was it. Now you're guaranteed pretty much with this new format to have 5 home games in the Champions League. That's massive. That money is where United... that's what United are clinging on to. That's what money United need. But yeah, Jonathan is right. All the players at the moment are taking 25% less in their wages until they get into the Champions League. But we get to the Champions League, then wages are more than covered. So it's not a worry or a concern. United's whole plan right now, their whole project, is to pay the players. They're going to get paid, but you need to be performing at a certain level. So yeah, that I think again is why Manchester United are putting everything into this summer, and they will reward these players. It's like we heard about Benjamin Sesko, 160 grand a week, and he's going to be on 200 grand a week plus if he gets into the Champions League. These players are not going into this season just to play second fiddle. They're not going into this season just in hope and turning up. They're going in with a thought of getting back into the Champions League. They have to. And if they come short, they come short. But that guarantees you Europa League, like we've said. So, yeah, simple. All right, into the other news. Romano has dropped some more news tonight. And this is on Garnacho. So, just bear with me a second. I'm just going to get these stories up. So, how Manchester United bring back the money. All right. Chelsea and Manchester United are in direct contact for Garnacho, but there's still a difference in valuation as Chelsea want to pay around 30 million and United start from 50 million. This is from Romano. Garnacho has told Manchester United he wants to join Chelsea or he'll stay at the club even if sidelined. He's eagerly awaiting a call from Chelsea for a medical, but club-to-club negotiations are ongoing. So Garnacho's playing hardball now, it would seem. Chelsea offered the chance to include players in Garnacho's talks. Vigor, Nkunku, Jackson or Disasi. United want money and rejected this opportunity. Chelsea want to pay around 30 million. United want 50 million. Again, that from Romano today. So Manchester United had the opportunity to go for other players. They didn't want any of Chelsea's players. Quite rightly so as well. Going off them names right there. And... again, we are being used for our situation. It's going to be fascinating to see how long Manchester United try and hold off for with Garnacho. Let's see what they can get out of this. Chelsea want him. Garnacho wants to go. I don't believe for a minute Garnacho is going to sit on the sidelines. That is complete and utter bullshit. I'm not saying that's from Romano, that he's talking crap, but I'm talking from Garnacho. Garnacho is bluffing there, and honestly it'd be the easiest bluff to read in the world. It's World Cup year. He isn't going to sit on the sidelines. What a load of crap. Not a chance that he will sit on the sidelines and wait it out. He'll stay at the club. Yeah, stay at the club, mate. He's fighting a battle he cannot win, this lad here. He's dicing with death. His career is literally on the line. Ruben will let him suffer. He won't play him, and his career is done at this point. He's an idiot if he thinks that he can get away with this. He won't. United will sell him. There'll be a fee. There'll be somewhere in between. I like what Laurie Whitwell was saying there. I could see this turning out to be a £40 million signing with a sell-on. A big sell-on for Garnacho for Chelsea. I think this is where this deal's going to go. But yeah, again, a player that's not played football for 3 months now, competitively. He's just kicking around in his own gym and training on his own, playing with nobody. Learning nothing, probably getting worse, and he thinks it's okay to sit on the sidelines and not train with the first team squad when it comes to next season. He's got no chance. Absolutely no chance. He's already given 2 fingers up to Manchester United and the fans. The fans don't want him back. and he's lashing out at everyone. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people probably agree with this in terms of Garnacho. He's just a... he's I mean, what word would you describe Garnacho as at the moment? I mean, get into the chat. I don't want to sound too harsh. I can go on the player, but honestly, the word that comes to mind right now is absolute scumbag. It is. But he's only doing himself harm. He's only doing himself harm in what he's doing right now, Garnacho. But I understand, like I said before, we just brought you the news about Manchester United from what Laurie Whittle of The Athletic was saying about a revolving credit facility. We've now drawn more on. So we're borrowing money that's not ours to buy players this summer, which is playing a big part in how we're doing the business that we're doing. The spoilt brat here. Petulant, immature, scum. I won't say the next one, but you can understand. But yeah, it's massive risk for Manchester United to draw down this money that's not theirs and then not sell the likes of Garnacho. It goes a long way to paying this off as well. United are planning on doing bits in this season. They have to be. This is a huge risk the more you look at it now than it ever has been for Manchester United. So, yeah, that is the plan. Garnacho, right there, I think is... in them comments and what he's doing, I can only think it's a bluff, like I just said. I cannot see that being genuine. There's no way that his representatives, and I know they're assholes, because they've backed him on what he's doing right now and he's destroying his career, but there's no way that they are actually going to say to him, look, you're going to miss out on one of the biggest World Cups that we've ever seen next year because you want to just commit to Chelsea and you're going to sit on the sidelines if you don't get Chelsea. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. He will buckle. He will buckle. Sub N with a super chat says, fan base needs to be patient. Good things are happening, but Arsenal is a tough game to start. New signings might need a few games to start firing. On that, I think that benefits us, actually, because Arsenal's new players need to find their feet as well. Not had the best of summers. Had a good result in the last game, but still, I feel like they are only just finding their feet as well. So it's a tough one for them to start with. Farnster11 in the chat as well. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Donna would be mega. De Gea 2.0. Pay him whatever. Someone willing to go all the way on Donnarumma there. Sub N again with another super chat. Sancho and Garner fight on who was worst attitude. Who's got the worst attitude between them two? Yeah, you're splitting hairs there, aren't you? Really. I'm just gutted that it is an academy graduate again. You had Rashford and then you've got Garnacho. I'm gutted that it's worked out this way for players that just seem to be so... they have the world at their feet. They seem to be so good coming through the academy and then hitting the ground running when they hit the first team. You just thought, here we go. We've created our own again. And now look at us. Struggling to make anything for him. It's so disappointing. It really is. Hull City are trying to grab hold of Toby Collier, by the way, on loan. I don't know if there is going to be anything in that later down the line, but we know that Toby Collier obviously isn't going to be used by Manchester United. He's going to be another Rasmus Højlund, except I don't know. I don't see Collier featuring for United. I don't think he's going to make it. Again, I don't like to say that, but I don't see how he gets the chance. If you're bringing in Baleba and you've got Bruno, you're never going to play anyway, but Mainu's ahead of him, Magate's ahead of him, and even Casemiro and Bruno leave, he's still not first choice or anywhere near the first two. So I think next summer United are hoping that Toby Collier has a good season at Hull and someone buys him next summer. I think that will be another plan for United going forward. I think more money coming in as well next summer. Jonathan says, perhaps United should keep Garnacho and try and fix the issues that were missed during his upbringing at United. I hope he is young enough to learn how to conduct himself. Wearing a Villa shirt with Rashford on the back, not taking any accountability in a public televised interview with South American TV, spitting his dummy out, slagging off the manager alongside his agent. He's done. There's no coming back, Jonathan. Sorry, mate. I get what you're saying, bud. I just don't see a way back for him. Garnacho and United are playing poker as United are with many players. Again, it just adds to the intrigue as to who will buckle first. Who's going to bluff? Who's going to call the bluff first? Is it going to be the player or is it going to be United? Because you've got Sancho. You've got Antony in his situation. You've got Garnacho. At the moment, the only sensible players at Manchester United that are leaving are the likes of Rasmus Højlund, who just wants to play football. If Garnacho, and this is true from what Romano has just said, Garnacho at 21, with the world at his feet, isn't bothered about playing football. If we believe what Romano has said, that's the situation. That is absolutely ludicrous. That is a disgrace of an attitude, in my opinion. And I don't know what anyone else thinks. I said it all along last season. A lot of people disagreed with me. They wanted to see the best in Garnacho. I think we all did. We all wanted him to do well and succeed. But from what Romano said there, I stand by what I said. There is a 21-year-old player with the world at his feet that is not bothered about playing football. That is a sorry state of affairs. It really is. And I'm only going off what Romano said there. And I can't see Romano bullshitting everybody at this point. Can you? I don't. Mazraoui, Ahmad, Onana, and Mbeumo, and maybe Baleba, we might have to shut down for AFCON. Not really. We got cover there. We got cover for Mazraoui. We definitely got cover for Onana. Baleba, yeah, we may miss him. And Mbeumo will be a miss, but we've got Ahmad, we've got Mount, we've got Bruno. We can mix things around enough to see through them games. I think the maximum is 5 games you can miss if you make it all the way to the final of AFCON, if you're playing in that tournament. So, yeah, I don't see all of them missing for all of them weeks. Obviously, I don't know how good the certain African sides are, who's favourite at the moment for that tournament, but we will be missing a few. Let's hope that Cameroon go right out. That's all I'm saying. So we signed Baleba, by the way. I'm not bothered about Onana coming back. Evening, Adam. Baleba and Donnarumma incoming? Well, yes and no, according to all of the reports today. Just to go back to what we said at the top of the show, Rudy Galletti said that, and it wasn't just Rudy Galletti, there is other reports going out today. Baleba has agreed terms on a contract for Manchester United up until 2030 with an extra year on top of that. They're genuine reports flying around right now. And one of them is Rudy Galletti. Talks will now open with Brighton and Manchester United, if they already haven't, over a bid for Baleba. The other report on top of this was that Brighton are cautiously already looking for a replacement for Carlos Baleba as it stands right now. So they're in the market looking elsewhere for someone to come in for Baleba. This is now getting to a point, like I said at the top of the show, where you start to think there's a lot more being said here than what we know, and this could be further along than what we initially thought it was. We're only just catching up now in the media and in the public from what they're telling us. So this could actually be further down the line than we actually know, and maybe the bid is about to go in after weeks of conversations between United and Brighton. But breaking it all down, Brighton know that United are interested. They have told Baleba that United have made their move. They're interested. Baleba apparently has agreed personal terms with United and wants to move 100%. Now we're waiting for the next part of this, which is going to be Man United's bid. And then Laurie Whitwell tells us today that Manchester United have borrowed more onto the revolving credit facility and have expanded that facility. So United do have the money if they want to go for the outstanding player, which is Baleba. So the money's there. United can spend it if they want to. Are they that convinced? If you're going to spend 80 million on Carlos Baleba, you might as well go out and get him for 100 million. For 20 million more. I know it sounds stupid me saying that. In the real world, that is obscene amount of money. But in football, if you're going to invest in someone who's going to be at your football club for the next 10 years, a decade, then you need to be paying top dollar to get him in. The contract that we're going to give him is going to save us a fortune anyway. Do you know what I mean? This will help United so many ways. Here's one as well for you. United are about to spend and break a record for the club and get close to the Premier League record, by the way, in bringing in a young 21-year-old who is going to be on, what, 100 grand a week wages, maybe in line with Ahmad, possibly 120, something like that. And then you've got Kobbie Mainoo, who's arguing over 180. It's like, get in line, Kobbie. There's a British transfer record player playing right next to you right now who's on less, near enough half of what you're demanding for having one season in the first team. That could help that situation. Falling in line. If he sees all these other young players on less money than what he wants, who are already in the team ahead of him, maybe that helps the situation as well. You've got to look at that and the bigger picture in everything that's going on here. By the way, everybody, don't forget, after the show tonight, we are on Big Up. We're going to have a call-in show and get through all of this and have your calls coming into me, talking everything Manchester United. We're going to react to the game at weekend. We're going to talk about the transfers. We're going to talk about anything you want to bring up on the show. That is all set up to go. We're going to go straight over there after this show. The mods will drop the link in the live chat for you. I'll pin it up there so you've got it. It's completely free, by the way. Come across, hit the link, sign up. It'd probably be beneficial to you to sign up. That's free as well, obviously. And then you can call in if you want and have your say. So if you've got an opinion and you want to talk about something that's happening at United in this window, then get on to Big Up with us after this show, and we will get you on and we'll get you talking. It's not always just my voice, it's other people's as well. I try to read out as many comments as I possibly can, but sometimes it's just good to hear people and hear people's opinions. Why are we not talking about Adam Wharton? Cheaper option and has proved it's over more than 1 year. It's a bandwagon hit where people are just believing the hype. Not really. We have talked about Wharton. We did a show on him the other day as another option. Manchester United have apparently touched base with Crystal Palace on Adam Wharton, and he is a genuine target for us. So, again, yeah, we have spoken about him, and yet the Baleba, I would still go for Baleba over Wharton. I love Adam Wharton. I never thought, and the reason that I've said this before, I've never thought that United would be able to get Carlos Baleba, which is why I've never really had him on my list. I was trying to be realistic. But this transfer window has blown my mind when it comes to Manchester United's incomings. And now we're finding out how they're actually doing it. It's going to annoy a lot of football clubs. It's going to annoy a lot of opposition fans as well that United can do this and borrow this money down. But look, if you've got it and you can afford to pay it back like United can do, easier if we get in the Champions League, then you're going to do it. Because United have fallen so far. And we've got a long way to go before we can get back up there challenging again. Thanks for all the likes, everyone. Get more of them likes in, please. We're over 800. Surely we can get to the 1,000 mark again. If you haven't given the video a like and you're loving the content, please pop a like up on the video. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. 59 away from 96,000 subscribers, which is mental. Thank you again, everybody. I'm going to check through all the news and everything that is dropping right now before we finish as well. So plenty of time left yet to get through that. So get your comments in as well. Andreas has done that in a super chat. This is disrespectful against their mother club. He will crash his career if he's so great. Then why is the Premier League clubs lining up? Sancho, even worse. That... on Garnacho there from Andreas. It is an insult to his parent club. It is. A team and a club that's done everything for him. He's willing to just flush their memories down the drain and everything that this club has done because he doesn't like the manager. That's it. Forget about everyone at the academy that helped you and brought you through. You just don't like Amorim and you're spitting your dummy out. That's what it is. Why aren't we trying to get Mark Gehi? At the moment, he's good value. We'd get him for 35, I'd reckon. Not according to Steve Parish. No, that's not happening. They want a lot more, and there's a few more clubs involved in that one. I don't think United stand a chance. And honestly, I don't think we need another centre-back at the moment. I don't think United are in the market for a centre-back right now. I think it's all down to the strikers and the midfield and the goalkeeper. Next summer, maybe, when Maguire leaves. We'll have to see what happens. Yes, get Baleba by paying instalments. That's how we are managing to get players in. 100 million. Godforce. Baleba only because it's now or never, says Victor. Nick was the first comment there. Baleba is so young. A long road ahead for him. Yep, Kev, that might be why United are willing to invest that extra bit more in Carlos Baleba as well. So let's have a look at that and say that is going to play a huge part in Manchester United willing to spend this amount of money. Sell-on factor. That's got to play a part in everything. Right, let's have a quick look online just to check there isn't anything that's come out while we've been talking. Obviously, Romano has just spoken as well. He's talked about Garnacho again. Chelsea still valuing Garnacho at about 30 million. And yeah, there is a big issue in what's happening with that sale right now. It's going to be a case of who is going to bluff first when it comes to Garnacho and Ruben Amorim. There is a growing hope at Manchester United that they might be able to complete deals to sign both Gianluigi Donnarumma and Carlos Baleba this summer. That from Miguel Delaney of The Independent. So he is saying Manchester United feel like they can get both. But again, just to go over the Garnacho news, if you're wondering why we're talking about it, it's because Romano's come out in the last hour and said this. A valuation gap remains between Chelsea, who want to pay 30 million, and United, who are asking for 50 million for Garnacho. Chelsea have tried to include Nicholas Jackson, Christopher Nkunku, Axel Disasi and Renato Vega, but United only want cash. They want to balance the books. That was the latest on Garnacho on that one. A lot of people quoting Miguel Delaney on bringing in both Donnarumma and Carlos Baleba. From what we know so far, and the updates could come again later tonight, Manchester United are preparing to speak to Brighton and make that first offer for Carlos Baleba, because the player has reportedly agreed personal terms to a 5-year deal plus 1-year extension. So 6-year deal on the table. Baleba verbally has agreed to this, apparently, according to all of the reports that came out today. That is where we're at with Carlos right now, and this is going to escalate further forward. Sancho, again, more interest and more talk on him, this time coming from Italy in Inter Milan. Again, they want Ademola Lookman from Atalanta, and Sancho will go at the end of the window. There's nothing going to happen with the outgoings of Manchester United apart from Rasmus Højlund. Garnacho, he keeps putting these cryptic clues down. And then you've got Romano coming out saying that he's willing to wait it out and not play next season if United don't give him his move. I've already called that out as complete and utter bullcrap. So, yeah, there's no way that a young 21-year-old isn't bothered about playing football, surely. That cannot be right. But, look, this lad has surprised us so many times before. There is no update on Anthony, by the way, at the moment either. A lot of these Manchester United outgoing deals could come down to United bringing the money back on the last day of the window or something like that after already paying and going into this revolving credit facility that we spoke about at the top of the show. So it's like taking a credit card out, going on holiday and not going on holiday before you've been paid, basically. And then spend all your money on the credit card, come home, you've got paid, and then you just pay off the credit card. This is United's tactic as it seems at the moment, and the reason why we've been able to spend what we have so far. And if there is a bid going in for Carlos Baleba, I think the majority of that and what's going down on him finance-wise will be from this revolving credit facility also. So, yeah, that's how I see it going with Carlos Baleba right now. And I will bring you the reports as they come out throughout the evening if anything serious does drop. But I'll be ready again for you all in the morning, as always, as you know, with the 8 o'clock show, because I got a feeling the late night situations that are developing right now are going to be more frequent because we are getting close to that deadline day now, 3 weeks away, and we're looking at a lot of deals going into the late hours and a lot of news circulating within them late hours as well. So them morning shows are becoming very, very important for all of the news at the moment, and I think it's only going to get busier. It is only going to get busier. Yeah, look. That is it for now, everyone. We are going to jump across. The link in your live chat right there is for Big Up. Please go across there right now. It's completely free. Click on that link. Sign up so you can get involved in the chat there. There's things we can do on there that we just can't do here on YouTube. So we're extending the show tonight and we're going across to Big Up to have a good old chinwag with a few callers, hopefully. just to go over everything that's happening at United, talk about the game at weekend, the transfers, lots and lots to talk about. So we're going to be on there for a bit longer as well. So that is it for me here on YouTube, everybody. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Mods, excellent job yet again, as always. Thank you to all the super chatters. Please, everybody, pop a like in the video, on the video before it finishes out. That'll take us near 1,000, which is great. Again, thank you, everyone. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. 47 away from 96k. Amazing. Cheers, everyone. I'll see you all in the morning, unless you're coming over to Big Up, which you should be doing in just a moment's time. Cheers, everyone. Have a great evening. I'll see you on Big Up in